First and foremost, I'd like to send my condolences to the family of Dr. Diamond, Catherine, Clarke, MD. Our prayers are with you, her family, and all of her friends and colleagues. This is a story of Dr. Diamond, Catherine Clarke, MD. Dr. Clarke was 28 years old. She graduated from Morehouse School of Medicine with a doctorate in medicine on May 18, 2024. She was last seen May 28th in Decatur, Georgia at her home. Unfortunately, the next day, her lifeless body was found. She was laid to rest on June 8th, 2024 in Albany, Georgia, where she was from. She had a host of friends and relatives who loved her dearly. But this story hits home because this is a young lady who had everything to live for. She was bright, she was beautiful, and she was getting ready to embark on the career that she had worked so hard for. Dr. Clarke, in my opinion, was bright, and she was helpful, and she was doing all the things that a mom or dad would want in a daughter. She was even, the day before she graduated, she was set to receive the 2025 Excellence in Public Health Award from the U.S. Public Health Service Physician Advisory Committee. So she had everything to live for. She just graduated. She was getting ready to start her residency in July. And so the things that triggered me when I looked at this story and this occurrence were the circumstances surrounding her untimely death. I'm not an investigator, but I do listen to some of these stories. And the first thing that made her family and friends, because a lot of times people share their location where they are on certain apps. And there's something called a crash alert. If the family ever listens to this, there was a case recently in North Georgia, in Gwinnett County, the Miles Bryant case with Susana Morales. And there was a crash alert with her phone as well. And there was an expert that said it could mean one or two things. It could mean that the phone was thrown out and maybe hit the ground, and you would get a crash alert. Or it could actually mean that a car was driving at a high rate of speed, and maybe there was some sort of impact. In this particular case, the things that stood out to me, which were alarming but concerning, and I appreciate that the family is working with the authorities. But one thing that, in my mind, were red flags was how they immediately, in the newscast, mentioned that she unalived herself, which that didn't correlate with a young woman who literally worked so hard. Do you know how hard it is to get a PhD and a doctorate at that? She was a PhD plus she was going to be an MD. So she worked very, very hard. She had a lot to live for. She was 28 years old. So that was a red flag to me, that they would so quickly, without even knowing all of what had occurred, why would they label this as she did this to herself? The other thing that was strange to me was that crash alert. They found her cell phone in front of her house, which was on the driveway in Decatur, Georgia, which to me could mean one or two things. Was she abducted from the house, dropped her phone, threw her phone, or did somebody take her phone and leave it there or throw it there to maybe get someone off the trail. People are very aware that cell phones can be tracked. If you're taking your cell phone with you, it could be tracked. So did someone take her from the home, throw her phone down on the driveway so that way people could not track exactly where her location was coming from, or where she was going to, or where she was being taken? They said that it was her cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head. They found her body some miles away from her home, and they also in a wooded area in Lithonia, Georgia, and they found her car not far from there. But they found 5 shell casings, which doesn't correlate with someone wanting to unalive themselves. It just seemed really kind of strange to me. Her family friend basically was like, the family is concerned, of course, and they want to know where this gun was obtained from and the ballistics and the information as it relates to this gun that was supposedly used. So to me, if somebody is unaliving themselves, because we can't use that word here on YouTube, why would it take 5 shots for her to do that? 5 rounds, and they found the shell casings. It just doesn't add up, and it doesn't match up for me. The crash alert on the phone is suspicious. The fact that she had a gunshot wound to the head, and there were 5 shell casings, was suspicious. Also, it was said that the last person to see her alive was her boyfriend. Now, the boyfriend has given a statement to the police, but his name and identity has been kept under wraps, which I can understand. But we don't know who this person is. And it is said that they had an argument. That is a red flag for me. Okay? So the crash alert, the phone being found there on the driveway, the 5 shell casings, and it was said that her cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head, and the fact that she had just graduated from this university, this prestigious school, Morehouse School of Medicine, led me to believe that this is a young lady that wanted to live, that she had everything to live for. She had family, she had friends, she had support, and she was getting ready to start her residency to become a physician. She even was getting another prestigious award, one of many. So again, my condolences to the family. Please continue to pray and ask questions. Again, there's a case in North Georgia, the Miles Bryant case, and on Susana Morales' phone, there was also a crash alert. And it was indicated in the trial that more than likely they'd never found her phone, but when that crash alert occurred, that was the time when her phone may have been thrown out the vehicle and hit the ground. Therefore, you would get a crash alert. I do know this for a fact, that they're going to, if they're doing a thorough investigation, they're going to, and it's going to take some time, they're going to do an autopsy to give you the official cause of death. They're also going to be looking at cell phones of the boyfriend, text messages. Those were the things that really helped them, because the cell phones are tracked to the towers. So no matter where you drive or go to, it's going to tell where her last location was with the phone, where the last location with the phone, where her boyfriend was at, what text messages took place before this situation occurred, maybe days, weeks, or even months before, or the day before and the day of, and what occurred after. Where did this person go? They're also going to be looking for camera footage. They're going to be looking for, I know in the Miles Bryant case, they used the repo guy's camera footage, because the repo guys who come and repossess cars, they're able to scan the area for license plates and for a plethora of other things. So they're going to be looking at camera footages of people who may have Ring doorbells and the flock camera system to be able to pinpoint where people were and at what specific times. This case is very suspicious to me for more reasons than one. And it is very difficult to see such a well-liked and loved person work so hard and not be able to have her impact. She had an impact on many people's lives, but her goal was to become the doctor that she was and to help probably save lives and to impact many, many more lives. And so I'm hoping that the family, as painful as it may be, continues to ask questions of the police department, consult with other police departments as it relates to, they call it that 360 where, the lives 360 where people are able to tell your location, and to really, press forward so that justice can be done. I was just really kind of concerned that once we found out about this case, DeKalb County Police Department at least released a statement saying they felt that this was something that she did to herself, even though she had, according to the boyfriend, had just had an argument with him. Now, the details of this argument, we don't know. So I believe that time is going to be of essence, but time is going to tell. And this requires subpoenaing cell phone records, and it takes some time to get those cell phone records. But I think once they get the cell phone and camera footage, they will be able to put this story together. And I believe, it is just my belief, this is a developing story, that we're going to get some updates on this story, and we're going to find out exactly what happened to Dr. Diamond Clarke. And I'm just hoping that we get, the full story of what has occurred. But this certainly appears to me to be a young lady who had everything to live for and wanted to live. Again, I don't know all the particulars, but it's just strange with some of these circumstances. We haven't heard anything from the boyfriend. It's been very, very quiet. And a lot of times when things are quiet like this, there are investigations going on in the background, and they don't want to say anything. They don't want to release anything to the public until they get all of their evidence. We don't know who this young man is. We don't know what connections that he has here in Atlanta. We just don't know who that person is. So I don't know if he's lawyered up. I have no clue, but it's very, very quiet. And when I see cases like this and it's very quiet, that means that they're trying to get, in my opinion, they're trying to gather all the data as far as autopsy, if there was any defensive wounds on her body, what was happening. Like I said, the text messages, they're going to need that because that is going to help them to create the case if there is one. So guys, we're going to keep watching this story. And again, my condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, classmates of Dr. Diamond Catherine Clarke. This story is just very, very sad. And she was and continues to be probably an inspiration to other young women who are looking to get into the health career or even to become a physician. She still can, inspire other people to fulfill their path. Can you imagine 28 and she's getting a doctorate degree? What an accomplishment. What a blessing. And it's just really sad to even report on these stories. But her life mattered. She made an impact. And what I want, and I know what the family wants, is a thorough investigation where no stone goes unturned, and that the truth of the matter of her very untimely death, whatever has occurred, people just want the truth. And if there's anything untoward, then we want justice. So rest in peace, Dr. Diamond, Catherine Clarke. You will truly be missed by your family and your friends. And we send our condolences and our prayers to, again, your family. Okay, guys, I see you guys on the next upload.